Alright, an alligation is what you use when you have two different solutions and you need to mix them together to get something in the middle. So if you need a certain strength that you don't have available, you can mix something that's concentrated and something that's more dilute to get something in between, as shown right here. So you mix something that's very concentrated and a dilute substance, and you get something in between, and that's the concentration that you want. And in order to do this, you have to set up an alligation. So in order to set up an alligation, you make a little tic-tac-toe diagram. And then in the upper left corner, you put the more concentrated solution percent. So that's your high percentage, just the percentage, not volume or anything. And then you do the same for the low percent in the bottom left. So again, that's just the percentage, not volume. And in the middle, you put the desired amount. This is the percent strength that you are looking for. Okay, so that goes in the middle. And then from there, you put the difference between the two in the opposite corner. So you take the difference of the low percent and the desired percent and put it in the upper right-hand corner. You take the you take the more concentrated percent and your desired percent, and then you put that number in the bottom right. So this is just simple subtraction. So you're going to subtract this from this and put it up here, and then again with the high percent, upper left minus middle, and then put it in the bottom right. Okay, then after that, the number that you get up in these corners on the right tell you how many parts total of the high or low you're going to have. If it's going to be in the upper right corner, this is how many parts of the high percentage you're going to have. And then in the bottom right, this is the number of parts of the low percentage you're going to add. And a part is just any volume. It could be milliliters, liters. It really doesn't matter. You just have to be consistent, but it doesn't really matter what you decide to use. And then the total number of parts that you're going to have is the number of high parts plus the number of low parts. And then you use that to determine what percentage of each solution goes in and what you're going to add. So I think it'll be easiest if we do an example. We'll just do one. We'll do one from the book. We'll do number 2. So the question is, what percent, or how many milliliters of a 50% solution, and how many milliliters of a 5% solution are needed to make 4 liters of a 10% solution? Okay, so in order to set this up, we make our tic-tac-toe. Alright, so we're mixing 50% and 5% in order to get 10%. So 10%, that's what we want. That's our desired. And so we're mixing 50% and 5%. Alright, so again, this is our weak or our low concentrated, and this is our high or strong. Alright, so then our next step is to subtract. So 50 minus 10 is 40. Alright, and then 10 minus 5 is 5. Alright, then, so this means that we're going to add 5 parts of this 5% or strong, or 50%, excuse me. We're going to, so 5 parts of this 50%, and then we're going to add 40 parts of this 5% solution. We add these together to figure out how many total parts we have. So 5 plus 40 is 45. Okay, so we have 45 parts total. Okay, so that means that 5 out of these 45 parts are the concentrated 50%. And then same thing with the 40%. So we're doing 40 over 45 of the 5%. If we want, we can reduce this down to 1/9 or 8 over 9. It doesn't matter that much, but yeah, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so again, we're adding 1/9 of the 50%, and it's asking how much do we add in order to get 4 liters. Alright, so we want 4 liters total. Alright, so the next step is to just multiply each number in order to figure out exactly how much we add. So we're going to multiply 4 liters by, it can be 5 over 45 or 1 over 9. So that's 4 times 5 over 45. And that equals the number of liters you're going to add of the 50% concentrated. And then we're doing the same with the other one. So that's 40 over 45 times 4 liters. And that equals our percent strength, or the number of liters we're going to add of our 5%. And just to save some time, I'll just look at the answer. Forget it. I'll just do it. So we're going to multiply 4 liters times 5 over 45. So this should be 0.444 liters of our concentrated. And then we're going to do 40 over 45 times 4 liters. And this should be 3.555 liters of the 5% solution. And when these two are added together, they should equal 4. And sure enough, they do. So we get 4 liters total. And again, it's not a bad idea just to keep in mind just kind of what you're doing. So 10% is pretty close to 5%. It's kind of far from 50%. So just in our minds, we would know that we would be adding something closer to the 10% than the 50%. If you accidentally add a whole bunch of the 50% and just do a little bit of the 5%, you're going to have something a lot more concentrated. So just keep in mind just what kind of numbers you're dealing with, and that should hopefully help you out. Alright, thank you.